Oh, it says I'm live. Okay. So I'm Sensei Mish. Welcome to a new DojoChat. I'm alone today. No guests, but I wanted to go. I wanted to stick with this live. I haven't done a. I have these episodes called My Journeys, and so I talk about different stuff that I do, and my journey as a martial artist, specifically starting from that like no students, getting into positioning myself for retirement. Um, so I figured I haven't posted one of those episodes in a while, even though I have a lot of content in my head. It's just doing it, and I've been extremely busy lately, so I figured we just chat about that. If you have any questions for me, just put it in the comments. We can totally chat. Yeah. So I wanted to start talking about why. So it really kind of there we go. So Start with Why. It's a book by Simon Sinek, and for me, it really kind of changed my perspective on what I do and why I do it. And honestly, let's start with why. So let's start with a small story. I'll try and make it short, but if anybody knows me, I'm not one for short stories. So let's go back several years. My wife and I go to Yakima for some type of coaching conference. What is this, Harvey? Stop being in here to talk to yourself for a bit. Okay, great. Thank you, Harvey. I appreciate it. So anyway, okay. So, and before I get on there, yes, Jeremy, in fact, let me, I actually have a link, Control C. All right. That's a link to Start with Why. So anyway, my wife and I go out to Yakima. There's a huge, it was a conference for coaches for those coaching in the Washington State school districts. So, and my wife was there. So she, cause she was a volleyball coach at the time. She goes out there. I go out there with her cause I just wanted to get out of where we were, need to get out. And so she goes and sees this one speaker, and this guy is, he's kind of an inspirational previous coach, written some books. And so one of the people in the audience was like, hey, which book should we start with? Most likely referencing which book do they start with of his. And he says, Start with Why. And it was very kind of confusing, it's like, but you didn't read that book. And he goes, or no, you didn't write that book. And he says, no, I didn't. He says, but this is the book you got to start with, because everything starts with why. And so of course my wife is like, we got to buy this book. And like every book in the Handwerker household, we purchase it and it just sits there. And it doesn't get read, because we are so damn busy doing everything. So, so fast forward about a month or so, and my wife's like, let's get the audiobook. It'll be a lot easier that way, at least for her, because she's an audiobook person. And at the time I wasn't, but I had been converted. So, anyway, so she listens to it, and, she lets me know. She's like, dude, you have to watch this book or listen to this book. You have to listen to it. So I did. And it's actually read by the author. Fantastic. I like listening to books written by authors, mainly because they you can hear the passion in their voice when they talk about, when they're reading the material. Plus, there's also like, some side stuff. Gary Vaynerchuk does that. Gary V. He'll kind of go off onto side treks in his book, there's that added extra, which is kind of cool. So I, of course, listen to my wife. I take her suggestion and I listen to the book, and I am absolutely blown away by this guy. Now, the whole concept behind this is what Simon Sinek calls the golden circle. And if I can bring it up here, or maybe I can't, there is self-help book, but more kind of on a marketing side, because it's really kind of geared towards business, because a lot of businesses promote themselves. And even if you're a martial artist, got a martial arts school, you're promoting, we promote ourselves on what we do. I teach martial arts. I'm a martial artist. And, how do you do that? Well, I have all these different programs that I teach. I teach Kempo or I teach Arnis, or, whatever type of style. But why do you do that? And that's really kind of where it got to. And you'll have to bear with me here. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna share this so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is the golden circle. Okay. We know what we do. We sometimes know how we do it, but we don't know why we do it. And so he gives some great examples of, like, he talks about Apple and how really from the beginning, they have always promoted their why. They know why. They like to challenge the status quo, and they make beautiful products. By the way, they make computers, and he also does, Simon Sinek does a great golden circle TED talk. I'll try and find that. I'll put that in the link, but it was one of those where I was so moved by this book, so inspired, because I'm a martial artist who can't, or is really bad at promoting himself. And so it was one of those, it's like, okay, well, what's going to help me with this? So I really kind of took this to heart, and I really thought about, why do I do what I do? I've been in the martial arts for 30 years, why did I get into that? Okay. Which is kind of sometimes an easy question and sometimes a hard question. At the time, I didn't know. At the surface of it, I am just, I wanted to hit people. That's really what I wanted to do. I was one of those misguided youths. I thought it would be fun. It was interesting. It was just one of those things I thought that would be really cool to do. But then I think about other things that I've done. That's kind of, my way of life, or what somebody might consider my hobby, martial arts. But then I'm in security. I've been doing that for 20 plus years. Well, maybe not the plus. We'll just say 20 years. And then, and I've done all sorts of different things within that industry. And when, my friends get, injured because they get beat up, or people get bullied, I was like, it's, why do I get so passionate and angry when that kind of stuff happens? And it really went to my why, which I have really redefined as I believe that everyone deserves to be safe and feel safe. Now, don't get that mistaken with the bullshit of safe spaces. That's a whole different topic, but just to be and feel safe. And this could, and really you can accomplish this any way you can do. That's my why. I got into security because I want to help people be safe. In fact, even before I got into security, when I was younger, when I was in high school, I was debating, do I become an English teacher or do I get into law enforcement? I wanted to be a cop for the longest time. Unfortunately, I was discouraged, mainly interactions with police and not, and I'll tell that story here in a little bit, but not, not them being jerks to me or anything like that, but actually going and talking to them and saying, hey, what can I do? I got the wrong guy. And it just kind of discouraged me, but my why never stopped. I teach martial arts because I believe everyone deserves to feel and be safe. And I believe that can be accomplished through martial arts training. It builds confidence. It gives you some type of security, knowing that in some respects you can defend yourself if that comes about. I originally, when I originally thought it up, it was like, well, I don't want people to live in fear. That's kind of how I first defined it. It was, I believe that everybody deserves a self-defense education so they don't live in fear. But it didn't really, trying to stay away from negative language, fear, whatever. But it was one of those where it just, for some reason, it wasn't flowing. And so I had to go back to this golden circle and really think. And my why wasn't starting with why I was going to how. So I had to really find out. I really had to dig deeper and figure out where my why is. And so the why is people deserve to be safe and feel safe. How do you do that? You stay educated. For me, you stay educated in self-defense. Others could be, it could be, if you want to feel safe financially, then you become educated in finance. Me, I am not a financial wizard, but so mine focuses around martial arts. And so it all starts with why. Now I am part of a mentor program, kind of not really a left turn at Albuquerque, but I'm part of this mentor program with Brandon Beliso. And he is a big why person. Love Simon Sinek. We actually kind of went through this same process. And so it was, and since I had already kind of thought I found my why, it was through that mentoring program that I actually that I was able to redefine it. Because he really encouraged me to use, positive language. I don't want people to be afraid. That's, it's kind of a negative. It needs to be more positive. And so that's kind of where I went on the whole safe side. But it flows now and it makes sense. And it makes sense that everything that I do because I want people to be and feel safe. Okay. I teach. For instance, right now, I work security, for the longest time, for, 12 and a half years, I worked in a hospital, frustrated by politics. And well, frankly, I don't mind hitting people, but you can't hit people. You can't hit patients. Let's just say that that's a bad thing. But getting tired of everything going on, really wanting to do me, and focus on me over time, then I decided to take a retirement spot. And that's what I call it. Everybody jokes about it. But it's a retirement spot. I sit at a desk. I went from a guard to an officer. Uh, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you're wasting your talents," because I was a lead officer. For a long time, I was the department trainer. I built the academy that we had. So all of that kind of started with me, but politics, trust issues, that kind of stuff. I take this retirement spot, and now I get to focus on me. I'm much, much happier. Now, there is potentially a position opening in within my 40-hour gig that I could actually make being a department trainer a full-time thing. Before, it was just me doing my officer and lead stuff, and I was a department trainer. I would be a department trainer. Now, it's not official. They're still looking for money, but within the department, it has been approved. Yes, this is what we're going to do. And my supervisor is all over me to take this on. Would this position fulfill my why? Absolutely. Absolutely, it would fulfill my why. I'd be able to teach. I'd be able to make sure that the officers that are working in our department are safe, that they know how to, take care of themselves, defend themselves verbally and physically if necessary, that they have the skills that they need to not only do their job well and safely, but to also live a safe life. I mean, that's kind of, but there's this guy at there's this guy where I work. He's one of the IT guys. He was telling me yesterday that a position he once had, a director position, opened up, and he's like, "Okay, well, do I want this position?" Because he had it before. He was really good in the job, but he's like, I'm in the position that I'm in now because I don't want that stress. Now, would I excel in that position? Absolutely. Would I improve other people's lives because of that position? Absolutely. But it's an unneeded stress. He goes, I would rather have stress on different levels than to have stress at that level. And that really got me thinking. I've got this potential position open. Again, it's not official, but it fulfills my why. I have thought about it, even though it's not a supervisor position. The supervisor, I don't really like the supervisor. I love my supervisor, but I do not like the supervisor I would be reporting to. So, I could say that that's a deal breaker, but it is what it is. That can always be changed because nothing is set in stone yet. However, if they were able to do that, if they were saying, "Oh yeah, you can report to the manager. Don't worry about reporting to this other person." It's stress I don't need. I love having the stress of doing this show. Like, not having a guest today I was like, what am I going to talk about? And then it just kind of came to me. I love this stuff. Talking to myself about myself. I don't know how narcissistic you want to look at that as, but that kind of stress, the stress of promoting a school, the stress of bringing students into the school. I promote seminars, bringing those, promoting the seminar. That's stress, but it's good stress because it fulfills my why, but it also, in my point of view, pushes me towards what I see as my ultimate future of running a school, have, that being my legacy and my, I don't know, my retirement. So, but doing that for the department, I see that as doing that for somebody else. All the stress that I'm doing with the school and seminars and all that kind of stuff, that's stress for me. And I see that as completely different. So I don't know. What do you think? Let's see. What else is on my list? Oh, I've started a new channel. So, not martial arts related, though I might bring martial arts because, well, martial arts is part of my life. But it has to do with Star Trek. So let's talk Star Trek for a second. Now, of course, if you can see, I've got my little Star Trek shirt. I got this for Father's Day. So here, we'll push that out of the way. There you go. That was a gift from my wife. I always tell her not to get me t-shirts, but she always gets me t-shirts. So I call it a year of Trek. And as I talk about this, let me and I can't really talk and do things at the same time. I kind of suck that way. But let me get something here. So anyway, it's called a year of Trek. My whole goal is, starting September 8th, is to watch Star Trek every single day. Something I could do easily. Now there are about 756 live action episodes. So spread that over 365 days. I'm looking at about 15 episodes a week, and with a default 3 episode Saturday. Okay. So you can tell I put a lot of thought into this. So actually, I know I didn't want to do that part. Shoot. Don't mind me. So anyway, all of this kind of came up with, while I was, you're not counting all the shows like Enterprise, are you? I'm Harvey. I'm counting everything. I am not actually Enterprise. I don't know if you're saying that because you dislike Enterprise. Enterprise was probably one of my favorites aside of the original series, because I'm totally an original series guy. In fact, it took me a while. I got this. This is one of the Ingalmoss little diecast models. I finally just did it and got myself an NX-01. So I love this little ship. Now, were all the episodes in Enterprise perfect? No. Actually, you can say that about any series even outside of Star Trek. Not every episode is great. One of the shows that I actually despise is Discovery. It took me a long time to actually even watch it. And yes, I am counting that. I'm actually counting, dare I say this, the second Kelvin or the second Kelvin movie, Into Darkness. I don't even own that movie. Like, I'll have to stream that movie because I don't even own it. I refuse to own it. It's anti-Star Trek. I don't know. It's horrible. Written by people who truly do not know Star Trek or think they know Star Trek. I don't know. It's when we get to that episode, when we get to that movie, because one thing I didn't mention is that when I'll watch this stuff every day, and then I will go live, just like I'm now, by myself, talking about the episodes. And of course I'll have notes and people can chime in and talk and all that kind of stuff. Now it's only going to be on, it's only going to be on YouTube. Not going to do a Facebook thing. So, sorry, you guys all, I will post links on my Facebook page, to the streams, but, I'm only doing this through YouTube. But, back to Discovery, because I squirrel a lot. So Discovery, it took me a long time to actually watch it, and I talked so much shit about it that I figured, well, I should probably know what I'm talking shit about. Now, I did watch the first episode when it was live on TV, and that's kind of, I was just like, I was horrified. Technology that shouldn't exist, attitudes that shouldn't exist. I don't know. It was one of those things that I was just so livid about that I was like, how could they? Now, the actress, I'm going to butcher her name. So I'm not even going to say it. But anyway, she was on The Walking Dead, and I actually really liked her on The Walking Dead. She played a great character. Thought she was a great actress. I have no problems with that actress. I have no problem with the characters that she played until she played Michael Burnham on Discovery. Yeah, it's, now I have watched all 3 seasons. I have been told, yes, all 3 seasons, it does get better. You can tell in season 2, we meet Captain Pike, and Anson Mount, the guy who plays him. He nails that character. So when they are putting out Strange New Worlds, I'm super excited about that one. And they with that and going into season 2 and season 3, they're basically trying to fix the mistakes that they created in developing Discovery initially. Season 3 was a little bit better. I have some questions, but I will say this about Michael Burnham, the character. I just don't like her. I just don't like the character. Most of the characters in Discovery, I think this is really why I don't like Discovery, is they are so two-dimensional, and we give it, okay, well, every show, the first season or so is difficult, and the actors are trying to play the characters and blah, 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 blah. No, there's actually, you in a single episode, you can get the depth of a character. It is possible to write a character correctly. My favorite character on Discovery, my favorite reoccurring character is, I can't remember her first name, but I think her name is Sully. Let's go to the interweb. Let's see. I know this kind of went to Star Trek and not martial arts, but that's okay. Let's see. No, I don't want Discovery Plus. Anyway, the actress that plays her is great. Are they going to list the characters? No. I'm looking. Anyway, she's a bigger gal. She's got this kind of this reddish curly hair. Not the perfect. She has flaws, and the character is so well written and so well acted that I love her character. I think it's Ensign Sully or Scully. One of the two. I don't know. Yeah. So, but as we get into each episode and I come online and I talk and chat and all this kind of stuff about Star Trek, we'll get all that. So back to the actual channel. I'm going to try and find a link here. No. Switch count. Okay. So if we, instead of, it's funny because I get this new, I'm using a new streaming service, which allows me to do some pretty cool things. That my other one didn't let me do. All right. Nope. There we go. Okay. So if we are here, and so you should just be able to go into search and go a year of track. There we go. A year of track. And actually we could go to filters and then just go. So this first one right here, welcome to, that's the first episode, or the first episode. That's the first video I put up. There's 2 on there. That kind of goes into a deeper explanation of what I just went through. You guys can watch it. But so you can go to it that way, or if you just go, channel, there we go. Year of track. Boom. And then you can see the cage. So this is the first scheduled live stream. The cage, of course, is the original pilot. So on September 8th of this year, I'll start with the cage, go online, talk about it for an hour. I wanted to try and find a time that would be good for me with my work and teaching schedule, along with watching schedule. So this one is actually 8 p.m. at night. So I know it's not great for everybody on the East Coast, unless of course you really want to stay up late. But I'm going to try and I might vary it. So like on the weekends, I might do it earlier. On the weekdays, I might do it later, all that kind of stuff. But of course, because it's live, and then you can always rewatch it. You can always watch it a little bit the next day. So if you are a friend of mine, well, regardless if you're a friend of mine, if you're watching this, you're a friend of mine. Or maybe you just stumbled across it, who's this really weird guy talking about Star Trek and martial arts? Go to A Year of Trek on YouTube and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I've got 4 whole subscribers. 4. I think one of them is my son. One of them is my wife. I don't know who the other 2 are. But regardless, when it comes to that, there's a couple different levels. Of course, monetization, that's really not my goal here, but I do want to get to 1,000 subscribers, because the more subscribers you have, the more it kind of promotes itself. It's just part of an algorithm. But to get to, like, if I was going to have like, not really a custom, well, it is a custom URL, but it's a, if I was going to go youtube.com/C/A Year of Trek, I need at least 100 subscribers. So, yeah, if you guys could go on there, subscribe, pretty please. Okay. So, oh yeah. And check this out. I've got mugs. I have merch. This one I was on Vistaprint, and I was like, this is so freaking cool. That's my little logo. There we go. Okay. So, I've got that. And oh yeah, I also have a guide. I wrote a book. This is pretty cool, because this will actually tell you on what day what to watch. So so let's go to the original. Okay. So on September 8th, contents, all the episodes. So September 8th, you've got The Cage. September 9th, you got Man Trap and Charlie X. The 10th, Where No Man Has Gone Before, Naked Time, and so on and so forth. And then it just kind of takes you through. So like in October, middle of October, we're going to be watching the original Star Trek movies and then moving into Next Generation. And then we're going to watch the Next Generation movies. And then we're going to watch DS9 and then Voyager. And then we'll watch Enterprise. Then we'll watch the Kelvin movies. Even Into Darkness. I know. I'll bite my tongue. Anyway, and then we'll watch Discovery and Picard. So this you can get on, you can also get this on Amazon. I'll put that in the link right now. Let's do a copy and paste. There we go. So get that off Amazon. It's $10. If you want it directly from me, it'll still be $10. I'll sign it though. You want a signed copy? There we go. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah. Now that's all really for the ear track. And one more thing, and I'll just type this in here now. There's a website too. I didn't mean to creepily whisper like Biden. Let's see. Here we go. You can go to yearoftrek.com. Simple, basic site, but it will also have a daily calendar. And then let's see, it'll have a daily calendar, and then it'll have you can buy merch. Also, there's a link to the live stream. So it's actually really cool. There's this app that I was able to put on the website that when it says, hey, this channel is live, it actually will show the live stream from that channel. Gotta love the internet. So, okay. Oh yeah. And I know I keep on coming up with new stuff. I am having a contest for the first 1,000 subscribers. So you got to email me. If you watch the video on the channel, you'll be able to see the contest. There'll be a big giveaway. Hopefully I will be able to do the giveaway on September 8th, that I'll have 1,000 subscribers by then. If not, we'll do it when we get to 1,000 subscribers. So watch the video, follow the directions, and then stay tuned. All right. I think that's all for a year trek, unless of course somebody asks another question. Okay. More Star Trek. What else is going on in my life? Now, I say I wrote a book. This is just a guidebook. That's not a book. This is a book. This is actually my very first book. Now I am the author of many DVDs that you can't get anymore because Amazon does not provide the on-demand DVD service. I do have them in digital format on my Q-Show Corner website. I'll put that in here too. On my QShowCorner.com website. If you're a member, you can watch those all the stuff that I have digitally. And at some point, I might just make them digital downloads so you can actually buy them, and then that way. I haven't gotten there to that point yet, but we'll figure that out. So the neck pinch. Now, back about 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I put up a really short video. For those of you who are watching and don't know, I am a pressure point martial artist and a Star Trek fan. And so it would be totally natural of me to try and figure out the Vulcan neck pinch. And so, I was playing with it. It's been one of those things I played with on and off. And so and actually research for this book kind of sparked the Year of Trek. I'll get into that in a second. So anyway, so I had put up a video and you got like 85,000 views, and I have a very small channel. So that was very surprising for it to get that much. I actually landed on one of those fake martial artist compilation videos. So I've made it. I've made it. I've been recognized. Anyway, so I got a lot of comments, and one of those things, it's like, I should really focus on this and make this a thing. And so I did. I actually refined it. I've come up with 4 different applications, couple different variations, but 4 primary ones. I've named them after the episodes that they're somewhat famous for, or that kind of make sense. But it is the Vulcan neck pinch, how to do it. I've got pictures too. Check this out. I do give a little bit of history. I do. There's actually some pressure point information. There you go. That's my son. There we go. That's my son, Ashton. He was Uki for the pictures. But yeah, so there's that. And then there we go. So got pictures, written description. My buddy, Mark Klein, gotta love him. He actually, and it wasn't hard for me. I just said, hey, could you do this for me? So he wrote the foreword. So I really appreciate that, Mark. But anyway, this was, I don't know. I want to say this was my legacy. You could say that this is my my next dawn thesis. But it's here. There you go. The neck pinch. I would call it the Vulcan neck pinch, but I don't want the books to be pulled off the shelf. So, and they're print on demand through Amazon, so it's not really they can pull them off the shelf, but Paramount or Viacom CBS, as they're now known, they have enough power in this world to say, hey, we own that name. So there we go, the neck pinch. Because a long time ago, I had learned, and this is related, I had learned that anybody that there was a clause in as part of Star Trek being a thing, that Gene Roddenberry had basically said, if anybody comes up with anything, and I think this is more geared towards technology, that if anybody invents something that is based off of something in Star Trek. So, and the article I was reading was actually about the tricorder. So that they could actually, licensing was free. And of course, you see all these dumb things that are officially licensed, and it's like, okay, well, what does it take to buy licensing? So I actually got a lawyer, and because the Makbara, I actually did a couple Q Short Corner episodes on it. And that's actually one of, that's a future book I'm writing. I've got actually 3 in the making. One I'm about 25% finished with. It's going to take me a couple more months to do it, but I wanted to do a video on the Makbara, and I was going to call it the Makbara, bringing making what is it? Turning science fiction into self-defense, or something of that nature. So I got a lawyer, and I said, hey, can you write to these people, find out who you need to contact at Paramount to get rights? Because I was just looking at what would it cost to buy rights to make this somewhat an official Star Trek product. Okay. Got a letter back from Paramount. They responded, paraphrasing. And so of course I got it in a fax. Back then faxes were all, or at least the fax that I had was all the heat paper. So which fades over time, or if it gets hot, gets blacker over time. So since this was so long ago, I think this was circa 1997, 98, something like that. Can't remember. Yeah, basically Paramount told me, don't even try it. We're not even going to give you information on how to get licensing. Just don't do it. I've heard of martial artists who were like teaching Klingon batless stuff and at conventions, and Paramount got on them about that too. There was a book, there was a batleth book called the Klingon martial arts. I have an original. Well, actually I have a bunch of copies, and I cannot believe I didn't bring one out here to show, because I didn't think I didn't realize I'd go on this one, but it was actually officially printed. It's a batleth kata. But here's the thing. They use Star Trek, they use the Klingon logo. They dress up as Klingons. Like it's actually a really cool, legit book. But Paramount found out about it and basically burned the whole run. Bram has a copy. Bram Frank has a copy, because one just happened to have made it into a store before it was run. I have a copy because in the early days of the internet and eBay, I won it off of Amazon. I think I spent like $101 on the copy. But then I actually found out where the source was, because they actually had some books that were that had not been burned, and people were selling them under the table for dirt cheap. So for the cost of the one book I got off of not Amazon, eBay, for the one that I got off of eBay through a bidding war, I got like 5 copies. And over the years I've sold 2. I think I have 3 more. They are shrunk wrapped. The ones I still have are shrunk wrapped. I'm not ready to get rid of those yet, but I am ready to promote not just Klingon martial arts, but Star Trek martial arts. I think that's becoming part of my why. Because if I can get some geek who gets beat up all the time and get teased, and now being a geek now is a way different than it was back in when I was in school. Being a nerd and a geek was totally uncool when I was younger. Now it's trendy, and you get, if you're a dude and you're a geek, you get some really hot geeky gals that have no problem, and if you're a gal, you get these really hot geeky guys. Back in the day, yeah, all nerds and geeks were ugly, including me. So, and we got beat up on. But the whole thought process here is if I can get some nerd who doesn't have any self-confidence, who gets beat up all the time, who gets teased, but loves Star Trek, to learn the Makbara form and maybe some applications out of it that he plays with, and it's like, oh wow, I can actually defend myself against these these asshole haters. So that's kind of the goal. So so much on my plate that I've started kind of, but I don't know. I've got to do stuff now. TJ, thank you for tuning in, TJ. I appreciate it. He has a real batleth. I too have a batleth. I would say it's real because it is actually it is a physical form. A buddy of mine bought it for me. I'd like just like the traditional batleth. I have a couple wooden ones that I made for training, but I actually have one that hangs on the wall in my dojo. It's actually the one that was presented in DS9 as the Sword of Kalis. It's aluminum, so you can't really, I mean, technically you could sharpen it but it's not really going to hold an edge very well. So it is real because it's tangible. You can hold it, you can play with it, but it's not real because I couldn't fight with it. That's kind of how I designate things. But anyway, so that's eventually we will trick Viacom CBS and have this complete, and I'm sure other people are doing it. They're just not promoting it, or maybe I'm not seeing it. I don't know. Anyway, but if you do want to learn the Maqbara, I do have a video on my YouTube channel. It's actually let's see, let's bring it up here. I'll give a link. It's I can't remember which episode it was, but it was a Cusho Corner episode. And I did like 3, what was it? I did like 3 breakdown videos. I wanted to do more. Let's see. Journey. Sorry, I'm looking. It'll come up here at some point. Maqbara techniques, Maqbara. Here we go. Get shareable link. All right, so there's a shareable link for the actual video for the Maqbara. I think that's episode 129 of my Cusho Corner series. Let's see, 130, 131, and 132 are follow-up episodes with the beginnings of applications. I think that there's only, I can't remember how, I think that there's like 3 applications of video, but like I only got like half, let's see, what is it? Did I get about halfway through filming? Something happened where I couldn't film anymore. It wasn't COVID. But I was only halfway through the kata, and yeah, it was like I got like 25 applications, and that was holding back. That was holding back. So but anyway, so just to call out to TJ, there is he actually went to he was in Indiana when I actually taught the neck pinch, and so he was one of my ukis out there. So and TJ, I don't know if you're are you going out to, I don't know if you're still watching or not, are you going out to Indiana in September? Because I will be out in Indiana in September. So if you're going, I will see you there. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, well, yeah. I mentioned promoting seminars. So I have, and we will, let's share this screen again. Okay, so that is that, but I wanted to share. So in a couple weeks, Bram Frank, my friend, mentor, knife instructor, etc., my brother, he's going to be out here. I'm going to be hosting him in Vancouver. The seminar is 12 days away. Okay, it is currently July 3rd. July 6th, if you guys can make it, it's going to be hosted here at Artisan Martial Arts. Oh, and that's something I got to talk about. So can't remember that, or can't forget that. So full camp before July 6th. If you guys can actually make it out here live, in person, it's only $333. After that, the cost goes up to $375. Daily training, if you only can come for a day, come for a day. It's $130 before July 6th. on after that, it's a $150, as in 150. We are. So why aren't you interviewing? All right. So Thomas, you're funny. So why aren't you interviewing yourself? Seems like a really good idea. So I thought about that. I don't know. That might be a gimmick for next time, because I could be like, so what about this? And then I turn back and forth. Or I could actually put up another camera and there could literally be two of me. I don't know. It'll be weird. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. So I'm going to finish talking about this. TJ just sent me a picture of his batleth. It's pretty wicked looking. So anyway, virtual training. We did it virtually last year, online last year through Zoom. First time, we had some stumbling blocks, like, everybody else, but we found it was pretty successful. So that is, if you want to get online for the virtual training, it covers all 3 days. You'll have access through Zoom, and then once the camp is all done, you'll still be able to access that video. You'll be able to access that video forever. So that'll be that. Now this is let's see, let's get back to here. So it does say Bolo Instructor Camp. Bram is mainly known for his modular knife system, but he is also the guardian of legacy of the Priestess Bolo. Do I have it? Oh, shoot. My bolos are in the dojo. I thought I had one in here. Anyway, so this is actually going to be instructor camp. You do not need to pay to be an instructor, because the $333 before July 6th, so the $375, that's just to attend. If you want to be an instructor, of course, you got to pay a little bit more. Paying for an instructor is a one-time thing. Once you're an instructor, all you need to do is attend every now and then, and you keep your certification. So, but this is actually, if you do any type of Filipino martial arts, stick arts, the bolo is essentially just a big knife. This is what you're doing in real. Instead of banging sticks, you're going steel to flesh. So, and Priestess is reference to Remy Priestess, the father of modern arnis. Anyway, so we've got a full in-person camp. We've got daily training, so you can either come Friday, come Saturday, or come Sunday. Lunch is provided. If you're coming Saturday, we have a birthday barbecue afterward, or at least, allowing people to go home, clean up, come back. Anyway, because this is Bram's birthday. His birthday is on the 19th of July. So we have a camp around his birthday. You can register right on the website. Let me type that down into here. Let's see. BramsBirthdayBash.com. Okay. And then, let's see, go back here. So anyway, so nice little site information. There's frequently asked questions. Have hotel information on there too, right there. And there you go. Okay. So, enough of that. I was going to share. Let's see. We'll stop doing that. We'll share again. Share screen. Share window. Okay. So this is TJ's batleth. That's actually a pretty cool batleth. Okay. So this one is in the, what is it? It is in the, it's inspired by the Sword of Kalis, because you can see, and I don't know if you can see my mouse. Normally a batleth, you'd have this come down, and then this would be straight, all that kind of stuff. The Sword of Kalis has this little point right in the middle. So, and then it kind of comes up on each side. So this is definitely inspired by that. That's actually, that's pretty wicked. I like it. I like it. Thank you for sharing. Let's see. Oh shoot. I've been chatting for an hour. God, I knew I could talk to myself, but I didn't realize I could talk to myself for this long. Oh wow. I have a drinking problem. Thanks. There was something else I was going to talk about. Before I go, so one of the other things, this would be another part of my journey, my, part of the things that have come out of my mentor, thing program with, Brandon Beliso. I changed the name of my school. So I've done business as for my school in different ways. I did, when I first started, it was, it was Oregon Ruku Kempo is what it, and the reason at the time is I was living in Oregon. I had a friend of mine, who was teaching out of Washington. So his was Washington Ruku Kempo. I was Oregon Ruku Kempo. And then, but I did more than Kempo. I did, I started doing knife stuff. I started doing stick stuff. So, I was like, well, my last name's Handwerker. I'll just do Handwerker Martial Arts. We'll just identify it as that. But even though I want to run a school, I want to own a school, run it. I want that to be my legacy, part of my legacy. I don't want people coming to the school because of me. That makes my business personality driven. And in the beginning, absolutely, it will be personality driven, but ultimately it needs to become system driven, and it needs to, so, and I remember talking to this one guy, and he used to work at the hospital I work at, and he wanted to train with a friend of mine who has a school out in Gresham, and he went out there, and my buddy wasn't there. Well, my friend of mine has the school is named after him. Okay. And this guy was really disappointed because he's like, that's his school. Why is somebody else teaching there? It has his name on the door. I wanted to train with him. And I know that will end up being a thing in the future, that people will possibly want to train with me because of who I am. As famous as I am in my own head, but I wanted to get away from that. So I went from Handwerker Martial Arts, which I've been doing for, I don't know how long, probably 20 years, to Artisan Martial Arts. And the reason I chose Artisan is because my last name, Handwerker, can be translated to craftsman or artisan. When you go a direct translation from German to English. I had also played with the Japanese style of, or not style, but translation of shokunin. Shokunin is also means artisan or craftsman. And so, and I had been actually using the kanji for that for the longest time, at least the last decade, I think, because I wanted, Handwerker Martial Arts. What does that look like written out? And some, in my research, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. So I, on my shirts, I actually had kanji of Shokunin Martial Arts or Handwerker Martial Arts. And of course, shokunin in the Japanese culture, they're artisan, they're craftsmen, I came across this one. I wish I could remember it off the top of my head, but basically, being a shokunin almost is kind of like being a journeyman when it comes to manufacturing, but to the next level. Like, as an artisan, as a shokunin, you are socially conscious of what you do, and you do things for the good of people. Like, and I was like, there's such a deep meaning in that. Um, and so, and so I actually was thinking about going with artisan, or, shokunin martial arts, but, and even though, I kind of do stuff my own way, thus making it kind of my own style, yada, yada. I was like, no, 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 no. I want to do this. I want to do artisan. I can still keep the same kanji, doesn't change. But I really, the artisan was, kind of stuck with me. So that is what it is. Handworker martial arts is now artisan martial arts. If you follow me on that, or anything. And actually, we have an Instagram. We just started an Instagram. I've got a little campaign going. You can find me at what is it? Artisan.ma. Let me type that in there for Instagram. Let's see. All right, so that's our Instagram page. Of course, I don't know why I've got some software connected. I've got this scheduling software connected through Facebook, and it totally screwed up my connection with Instagram to the page. So I've got to post separately. So, because generally you can post to Instagram, automatically post to Facebook, but for me, I got to do it manually because I don't know. Because even though technology is fantastic and awesome, as it improved our lives, it is a pain in the head. Yeah, I guess a pain in the neck, a headache, and probably one of the worst things that has ever been created socially. There, I said it. Okay. So, artisan martial arts. Get on there. Follow me on Instagram. But I see this change has kind of really got me. I'm excited about it because it really kind of gives a deeper meaning. It gives me a deeper meaning to what I'm doing. I'm there to help people feel safe. As an artisan, as a craftsman, I'm actually coining the term martial artisan. So what does it mean to be a martial artisan? It's a lot different than being just a martial artist. Martial athlete was a thing a few years ago, and I think that that's fine if you are a sports martial artist. But when it comes to reality self-defense, it needs to be, that's being a martial athlete, that just doesn't fit, at least for me. But what does it mean to be a what does it mean to be an artisan martial artist? So, mastery of the craft, being passionate, being focused, being dedicated, all of these things. That's what it means to be a martial artisan. This is my new campaign, I call it a campaign. I'm thinking business like, but basically there's a lot of things that I'm going to start promoting on the Instagram page, on the Facebook page, that really kind of promote this idea of being a martial artisan and what does that mean. One of the taglines for the school is essentially building better lives, or building safer lives. Got to throw my Y into that, but the concept of artisan, you're building. So I don't know why it went to, I don't know what that happened. What does that mean? I don't know. There's a little icon that came up. It looks like it's a Wi-Fi icon, but I'm plugged directly into the network. As you can see, this out of place yellow cable is my network line. So there you go. What else did I want to say about it? It was not taken well right away. Brandon was like, he's like, when I think of artisan, I think of beer, bread, and cheese. And that's true. That's very true. That can totally be a thing. You've got artisan breads, you've got, beer makers, you've got, artisan cheese out there, and that's fine. That's fine. I had jokingly thought, well, maybe I could have beer, bread, and cheese for the parents. So anyway, but I'm not going to do that. That's not a thing. I thought you were charging the enterprise. Oh, funny, Thomas. Is that in relation to that little Wi-Fi thing that I mentioned? Okay. Okay. Well, I have been talking for over an hour. I think I've got everything out. I think this was a good chat. I don't know. Had a few people, there's this little eye in the sky kind of up here with numbers. It's gone up and down throughout the show. Anyway, if you like this, hit like, share it, subscribe if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel at Sensei Mish. Go and follow me on Instagram. That's at Sensei Mish on Instagram. And also get on there to Artisan Martial Arts. I have different content on there for the school. So if you want to train with me, you can train with me in person live. Our state is open. Among other states, I don't know, at least, we're open here. Or I also do stuff virtually. So you can hit me up, go to artisanmartialarts.com, or you can message me through Facebook or Instagram or however. But there we go. Until later. Oh, yeah. Subscribe to A Year of Trek. I need subscribers. Subscribe to A Year of Trek. That's what we need. So last thing, subscribe, like, share, do all those really cool, interesting, awesome, thoughtful social media things. And until next time, build a better life, or build a safer life. I think that'll be my thing, building a safer life. So enjoy. Oh, and tomorrow's 4th of July. Be smart. Okay. Be safe. Let's celebrate our independence without blowing fingers off. All right. Love you all. I'll see you later.